So you know those movies that people consider to be like the perfect lad movie? And by that, I don't mean like, oi, 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 lads, lads, lads. What I mean is that movie that you can sit down with your mates and you can just have a little bit of banter and a bit of a laugh and a bit of a joke with. It's a good movie. Everyone in the room enjoys that movie. You will talk about it for another couple of weeks afterwards. And yeah, that's this movie. We're about to get into it, but I am just going to tell you right now, I had such a good time with this film, and I really, really want people to check it out. That's right, we are talking about Holiday Monday. Hello everybody and welcome back to Nerdly Out Loud, the official channel of nerdly.co.uk, your favourite British home for all of your news, reviews and exclusive interviews. I am sorry it has been a little while since I uploaded a new video. The last one I did was with Tom Payton, an amazing young director, just absolute doing gangbusters right now. He was on to talk about his movie 400 Bullets. We took a chance to talk about his other movies, G-Lock, Redwood and Pandorica. Tom is somebody who we have followed, or I have followed from the very start. I genuinely love everything this guy has done. I think as far as British actors on the way up, using what they have and who they know to make movies, Tom is pretty much in the upper echelon of that category. I love the guy. He's awesome, and I will keep watching his movies and promoting the crap out of him. 400 Bullets is, of course, on Amazon Prime right now. Go and watch it after you've listened to this or watched this, and then after you watch Holiday Monday, because you're going to love it. Before we get into it, though, I do want you to do all of those wonderful things that all these amazing YouTubers out there ask you to do, and that is to hit that like, hit that subscribe, and ding that notification bell. The bell is like Ron Seal. It does what it says on the tin. Hit the bell and it will let you know whenever I drop one of my wonderful reviews or interviews. You heard about my interview with Tom Payton. We talked about that 2 seconds ago. I recently did a review for Rise of the Foot Soldier Origins, which it's a Brit flick and I bloody loved it. It had its premiere a couple of weeks back or a week ago, and it did gangbusters. Everybody's loving it. It's getting great reviews. People are really getting into it. I would love to, this is one of those times when I would actually love to live down in the big city over here in the UK, because I would love to have been there. I've been speaking to the director, some of the actors, and it would just have been amazing to actually be there and be in amongst it when movies like this release. Yes, so all those wonderful things, like, subscribe, hit the bell. And you know what? If you can't be bothered to do any of that, if that is too much for you, too much for me to ask, then please do just walk up to a stranger or someone in your family or a good friend and say, Nerdly Out Loud. That's where you should be going for your reviews and your interview content, because they are amazing. We are going to get into this. This review is Holiday Monday, a movie that was written, edited, directed, lead star, sang the theme tune, wrote the theme tune, Nathan Shepka. We are going to talk about this film, and I am bloody excited.
And now, our feature presentation.
Okay, so I'm going to follow my normal routine. And my normal routine is this for anybody who is new. And anybody who knows what is coming, just sit back for a second. It's all good. It's all good, but I need to explain for any new viewers, because we have a few. So, yes, basically what I like to do is I like to talk about the plot. I like to get into that a little bit. I like to get into the cast and the characters. And then I like to get into what I liked, what I didn't like, and finish up with a little bit of a nerdly rating. It's not necessarily the rating of Nerdly as a whole, but it is my rating, and I'm the most important person out there. Fine, you know. So in a nutshell, this movie basically is Derek and Nick, played by Colin MacDougall and Nathan Shepka. These are your main two guys. They're kind of like a buddy cop army guys. They've been through some stuff together. They love each other. They're brothers. It's all good. So they get hired to protect this guy who's running away from some criminals because a drug deal went bad, and those bad Scotch accents get in the way of what could be potentially reasonably good acting. But that's not a slight. I loved it. I loved it all. Things go a little bit south because it's Bank Holiday Monday and nothing can ever go right on Bank Holiday Monday. Stuff and things happen, villains, gangsters, blood, guts, bullets, explosions, lovely girls, a sniper rifle that probably cost, most of the budget. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You've got your two main guys who clearly think they're in Lethal Weapon 5. They clearly think that that's what they're doing here. They are playing Mel and they are playing Danny, or they are playing the Strike Back guys from like season 2 and 3 and 4. I believe that was those two guys, Sullivan, Stapleton, and the other guy. And that's kind of what they're doing here. But instead of hitting the lofty heights of Mel and Danny, they kind of get Danny and Tama. And if you know, you know. I'm talking about Danny Dyer and Tama Hassan. Again, not a slight, because it's working for these two guys. I genuinely really, really, really rated this. I can't really get too deep into the plot because that is pretty much it. It's your typical standard gangster fare, British movie making 101, done on a pretty small budget, but enough that the movie actually looks fairly slick in certain places. They go down some pretty random paths with the story, which I really quite enjoyed. There's some really gnarly kind of camera effects going on, especially during the fight choreography. Big ups on that. But budget constraints is all I'm going to say. And I'm not going to be too hard on it for that, because if you know me, I love low budget movies. I love British movies, and I love it when they're made with love, when they're made with passion in the heart. You can have the best script on the planet, but if your actors don't believe in what they're making, if they're not playing the roles with love and admiration, if they're not going for it, I don't care. When I refer to this movie as a British Boondock Saints, I say it with all the love and admiration in my bloody heart. Yeah. Let's get into the cast and crew, and then we'll talk a little bit more about everything else, because there's not much point going too deep into the storyline. It is a buddy cop kind of thing, capers, stuff, things, shenanigans. Starting with our actor, director, writer, editor, producer, sings the theme tune, wrote the theme tune, Nathan Shepka. Brilliant. Him and Colin MacDougall as Derek and Nick. I fully bought this partnership. I bought that these guys were genuinely mates. They had a bond, a brotherhood, a friendship that was unshakable. Obviously you're going to have the storyline where one of them wants out. The family man wants out. This is probably his last mission. And it just so happens to be a bit of a suicide mission. So yes, you're going to have that story. I don't care. I really don't care, because by the end of this movie, I can pretty much guarantee we are going to be getting a sequel. This isn't Holiday Monday 4. This is Holiday Monday. We are getting a sequel. It's going to happen. Please tell me it's going to happen, Nathan Shepka. Basically, any movie of any action proportion needs the over-the-top British bad guy. And here we have got an absolutely phenomenal, phenomenal bad guy. This guy is chewing scenery like there is no tomorrow. John Michael Love as Barnes. I adore you. I want to see you in almost everything. Almost everything. Let's be honest, if you played everything quite like this, it could get a bit repetitive after a while. But honestly, there are literally scenes in this movie where he is delivering outrageous, over-the-top dialogue, and then mentioning to the other characters that he is delivering outrageous, over-the-top dialogue. This is like Alan Rickman on top of Alan Rickman. He knows he's in a low-budget movie. He knows he has to sell the character. He knows that the two guys, the two partners in the movie, that role doesn't work without his role. He needs to be over the top. He needs to be full of shit, because it also means that our other character, Grande, who's kind of like his henchman, played by Matt Simmons, like that character doesn't work either without Barnes being as much of a dickbag as he is. And John Michael Love, you played this role such a dickbag, and I credit you, because for me personally, you stole the movie. You stole the movie. And that's not a slight on anyone else, because I think the other guys, I think Colin MacDougall, Nathan Shepka, were both excellent. I just love a good dickbag, and this guy's a fantastic dickbag. And of course, any movie needs a femme fatale. And we have that in Jemima Spence as Gina, who plays our sort of, she's on the wrong side, but she's going to help the boys out. But is she really helping the boys out? We're not entirely I don't know what this was. I don't know what that was. It was like I was playing my little... But yeah, is she helping the boys out, really? We just don't know. Whose side is Gina on? She is awesome in the film. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and say the acting is 10 out of 10 amazing, but it's everything it needed to be. Everybody's firing on all cylinders. They all know what they're doing, and they all know the movie they're in. So you can let them off with a little bit of cheese on cheese. It's okay. It's a bit of an action movie that I'm going to watch with my friends and have a little bit of banter with. And on that, I didn't even watch this with my friend. I watched it with my 13-year-old daughter, Ruby, who loved the movie as well. Probably not in the same way I did. I think she was having more fun kind of laughing at it rather than with it. Like, she's not quite there yet. She doesn't really get how good these movies actually are. I do think this movie was made on like 12 grand. And you would never know because the effects, the explosions are really cool. The fight choreography is actually really cool. Yeah, there's a couple of sloppy moves here and there. Of course there is. But what they do is they use camera angles and they use camera perspective to fool the audience into thinking, this is actually a really good fight scene. And it is actually a really good fight scene. So I'm going to roll into what I did and what I didn't like about this movie. It's pretty obvious. I'm a big fan of it. It does everything that I kind of wanted it to do. I went into it not knowing what to expect, but I kind of knew it wasn't going to be Rise of the Foot Soldier levels, but there is enough love and there's enough passion in this movie, and the actors are putting in enough of a role to really keep me invested. And whether I was laughing at certain scenes because, yes, it was a little bit janky, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because I'm enjoying the movie. They've made a movie, and that, for me, gets all the respect in the world. It's something I've never done. I will most likely never do, and I praise them for that, if nothing else. But the best thing is, you do have a cast and crew who clearly are happy with what they're making. They're invested in what they're doing. And to me, that's enough. That is absolutely enough. They need make no apology to anyone because it's good. It's actually really, really good. The choreography is better than you might expect. They've casted everybody perfectly. To have the big, strong, silent giant is, it's a bit of a trope, but it's a trope because it works. And it always works. Yes, everybody's rocking a Scottish accent, and I am an Englishman, but I do live on the border, so I can appreciate both sides. So that's kind of that's just the main thing that I like. I appreciate the fact that they've made it, and I respect the fact that they got it out there. Happy days. Nathan Shepka, I will absolutely 100% check out anything else you make past this. All I'm saying is Holiday Monday 2 better be incoming. Anything before this, I am definitely going to go and check out because I have a bit of an affinity for this movie. And again, if you're watching, if you're listening, I mean no disrespect when I liken this movie to Boondock Saints, because growing up, I loved that movie. Like, it's just such a great movie. Willem Dafoe's fantastic. Norman Reedus is fantastic. And as far as British movies go for your first proper, or at least the first foray that I've seen, I rate this film. So it's all good. One of the other things that I really want to point out is the opening credits. What the hell? Like, you kind of took me by surprise with this. It's kind of like a James Bond-esque, but really it's done on like Premiere Pro, whatever. I don't know. I don't know what it's made on. I don't know anything about the filmmaking process. It's James Bond light is what I'm going to say, but I actually really loved it. It kind of reminded me of Corn Freak on a Leash when the bullet is kind of flying through the air. Maybe not as good as Corn Freak on a Leash, but wow, I'm dropping a Corn reference in 2021. That's dated me, hasn't it? That has really dated me. So yeah, I love that. I thought it was great. I think the soundtrack to this thing's great. I think your explosions are fantastic. You have like 10 different angles for each explosion. And I love that. It reminds you of the Fast Show when they blow up the shed, but they show it from so many different angles and it's like so big they had to show it more than once. I loved it. I actually really liked it. the double team fight at the end when they're up against Grande, like that was enough for me. It's not the Raid epic, but it's pretty good. It's pretty damn good. I believe it was Saffron J. Mullen who played Emma. If I've mixed up the characters, I really do apologize. When did she go and dye her hair? Because at the start of the movie, it's Bank Holiday Monday. He goes out on the job and she comes back towards the end of the movie and she's dyed her hair at some point. Or am I just being mental? Like, I could be. But again, it's something that didn't ruin anything. It just was. It really just was. And then, like, you're having so much fun laughing with these guys, having fun with these guys, loving the baddies, loving the villains, loving everything that's going on. And you get, like, some really out there, hardcore, brutal kills. The bloodbath scene, wow. Like, I genuinely love that. Beautifully shot, by the way. I will say it again, I mentioned the camera perspective before. There are some really, really nice camera shots in this. Your DOP, wow. Cinematographer, wow. Excellent. Good work. There's some janky stuff, but there is some really nice stuff in there too. And I said to Phil at Nerdly when he passed this along to me and said, this seems like your kind of film. Would you like to give it a review? It's kind of, I feel like you should do this. Phil said that as long as you've got great lighting, as long as you've got great sound, and as long as your camera work is on point, like, I don't care really. Like, as long as you've got those things right and there's enough people in there that are all pushing in the same direction, I'm good. So I'm just going to give it a final rating. I can't possibly give this anything less than a 4. It's a 4 out of 5 for me. I genuinely had fun with it. I want to see Holiday Monday 2. Me and my daughter, Ruby, we are rooting for a sequel. She loved this film. She actually went to school and told her friends about this film, which she ain't going to tell her friends about the fact that we watched Stranger Things. She's going to tell her friends that we watched Holiday Monday, dude. So hopefully we will get some eyeballs to this movie. Please do check it out wherever you can, whenever you can. I'll be putting links all over our descriptions. Nathan Shepka, I am completely with you on this ride of directorialness. I want to see more of what you have to offer. As I say, Holiday Monday 2, please do. I'll be checking out other stuff. If you want to have a good time with your friends, couple of beers, a bit of pizza, some Doritos, Pringles, whatever your taste is, a little bit of popcorn, this is one of those movies that you can genuinely just sit down and just enjoy. Let the movie wash over you and you'll enjoy it for what it absolutely is. There are movies out there that try to do this. These actors and directors, they come up on the indie scene quite a lot. You'll have heard me talk about some of them. I am not going to pay them any lip service by mentioning their names again. But they fail. They massively fail to do this because there's no heart, there's no passion, there's no drive. They just want to mess with algorithms on Amazon, make cheap movies, put them out there, and hopefully something sticks. This movie is not that movie. This movie is 100% made for an audience like me. James Kermack, when he came on and we talked about Knuckle Dust, he said Knuckle Dust was made for me. Not specifically me, but the type of guy I am. This movie was made for me. Genuinely loved it. Really, really got on with it. And I want people to check it out. And please do, if you have a chance. This is the kind of film you need to be giving your money to. You need to be watching and telling people about. There are some amazing, amazing blockbusters out there. Of course there are. But you don't enjoy them and you don't get as invested as you do with a movie like Holiday Monday. I was in from the start. The opening credits got me. It just made me think, what are we in for? The action was great. It was entertaining. I really liked it. The choreography was great. The acting was great. Is it a 10 out of 10 blockbuster smash hit? Nah. But it was what it was. And it knew what it was. And it stayed in its lane. And it deserves your respect and your attention. And it definitely deserves my admiration. So 4 out of 5, Nathan Shepka. Please do check out Holiday Monday. You will love it. Sequel, I hope, is incoming. There's a scene towards the end where they may as well go, sequel! So, yeah, please do. Bring me that movie. I'm 100% in. If you want to make holiday Sunday or Easter Monday or whatever you want to do, I am Good Friday. We've already had one of them. Like, just bring me a movie, another one of these with these two guys. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to eat that shit up. But for now, I'm going to go. So please do hit that like, hit that subscribe, and ding that bell. And as always, we are Nerdly Out Loud. I am Kevin Halden. We are the official home of nerdly.co.uk, your favorite British home for all of your news, reviews, and exclusive interviews. I'm going to bounce.